The older I get, the more I've been learning about myself, and I'm starting to learn that like I was kind of screwed from the start, I feel like. And I don't want to like blame my parents or anything of that sort because it's not completely their fault, but I don't know if that's going to be a good marker point. Whatever. I also feel like if my parents would have done a little better of a job raising me at all the different stages of my life, I probably could have turned out a little better. Probably could have, well, yeah, I mean, it's just simple as that. It turned out a little better, you know? And so, like, I don't want to blame them completely, but I keep getting older and hearing new stories about my past, about my childhood and stuff. And it's just kind of like eye opening to me. Like, a recent update that I've learned about myself is, well, to put it simply, I was an accident, or at the very least unplanned. Now, my mom told me about this like a month or two ago, and the way she worded it, I feel like she was trying to make it sound a little better, because she said after her and my dad had my brother, my dad did not want any more kids. My dad was not planning on having a second son, second child. He was already a stepdad to my mom's first kid, my oldest brother. But she went out drinking one night with her friends, and I'm not kidding. This is exactly what she told me, word for word. Well, not word for word, but a basic summary of what she said. She said she went out drinking with some friends, and she decided that night that she wanted another kid. My dad was not in the loop on this decision, just kind of, you know, did his part. And then 9 months later, along came me. And my dad loves me, I think. I'm like pretty sure that he loves me, at least enough, you know. But I've kind of always felt this disconnect between the two of us, and I could never really explain why or knew why I felt the way I did, why I felt so maybe different, but just I don't want to say unwanted, but there were definitely quite a few points of my life where I felt very not purposefully unwanted. It's not like he purposefully neglected me, at least not all my life he did. There were definitely some points, but we'll get to that. No, but so I kind of just always felt this way, and then my mom kind of confirmed it for me that I kind of was unwanted. That I kind of was like my weird disconnect that I've always felt was for a good reason, because my birth was not agreed upon by both parties, you know? And so even if he didn't mean to do it or mean to make me feel this type of way, I feel like subconsciously he kind of just, you know, he didn't want me. And so it kind of reflected. And that's fine. It's whatever. I'm grown up now. I don't care. It's whatever, you know? And it's not like we have a bad relationship or anything of the sort. But I've also learned another thing my mom loves to tell me about is how, like, when I was a baby, my dad would just sit me in one of those, like, play chairs and just kind of leave me there to just keep myself entertained for, like, hours at a time. It was so bad that at one point, the doctors thought I was going to have to start wearing a helmet because my head shape was getting so flat because how often I was just staying in these chairs. And that's kind of how I was always raised. I was always kind of just left to my own devices, left to figure it out, you know, do whatever you want, keep yourself entertained. I'll keep a roof over your head. I'll keep food in your belly. You know, I'll keep you safe, keep you clothed, but don't ask for more than that type of feeling, you know? And that goes for both parents, really. Both of my parents were kind of always that way because for a long time, it was mostly just because they worked so much. My parents were always working all the time. It's where a lot of their relationship problems came from, is working like opposite schedules from each other. And that's fine. You know, as you get older, you want freedom. You want to be just left alone, left to your own devices. And so, like, my teenage years, I loved it. I loved that my mom was never around. I loved how much she ignored me and neglected me. And that's a little harsh to say, but it's how I'm feeling. So it's what I'm going to say. But so I kind of just been neglected my whole life in some ways. It kind of feels that way. You know, another thing that my mom told me about, and this was, I don't think really a fault of either of them, but for a long time when I was a baby, I had to take some sort of medication for something. I don't know what, I don't remember the specifics, but they were overdosing me for a long time. They were giving me way more than I was supposed to be, and it was messing with my stomach. And so I think that's where my like acid reflux problems came from, was this, or at least that's what my mom said. She said she thinks that's where my acid reflux stomach issues came from, is from being over medicated as a child. And she's probably right, to be fair. I mean, she would know better than I would, you know? But it's just, there's all kinds of little things all through my life that I'm starting to realize messed me up as an adult, or at least I think they did. It If it's not exactly correlated, it at least gives me something, to like say, oh, I have this and this and this issue. It's probably because of this and this and this when I was younger. And so I just have been thinking about it a lot lately. I've been thinking a lot about my childhood and how I was raised, and I love my parents to death. I love them so much. They are the best parents I could ever ask. Well, yeah, they're the best parents I could have ever asked for, even though I'm sitting here saying, like, if they would have raised me better, blah, 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 I still will always love my parents, because they did the best they could, for what we had and what we had going on in our lives. And you know, not to make excuses for them, but they did their best. They did their best, and I will always be appreciative of them. But like, damn, damn, like I am a messed up adult. I am a mentally screwed up individual sometimes. Sometimes I'm all right, but I just feel like I don't I don't want to flat out say it's their fault, you know. I mean, I know my mom's got her mental issues, like she's bipolar, she's got diagnosed anxiety and depression. She's got a whole mixed bag of mental health disorders, and some of that definitely translated over to me. She's apologized that it was one of the most heartbreaking things she's ever said to me. She said, "I'm so sorry that I gave you what I was born with, or what I was cursed with," or what, I don't remember her wording, but I just felt so terrible when she said that to me, because it's like, it's not your fault. You can't control the fact that you have issues and that they translated onto me. you know just have to learn to live with them and learn to work around them and stuff. So I'll never blame either of my parents for screwing me up, even though that's kind of what I am doing right now, is blaming them for screwing me up. But I'm not like bitter about it. I'm not like upset about it. I'm not like, why would I be? There's nothing I can do about it. I can't go back in time and say, hey, dad, get me out of that chair and take me out to play catch. I would have loved that. I would have loved to have an involved childhood and have parents that were around more and cared more about what I do and who I becoming and whatnot. But it's not my luck. It's not what happened for me, and I am not going to waste my time being bitter or upset about it or whatever. I'm just going to live with it. I'm going to grow with it, and I'm going to just do my best that I can. Negative 88. Negative 8. I need to remember negative 88. But it's just, I don't know, it's kind of crazy to me sometimes thinking about how how different I could have been. I just wonder how different I could have been. I guess I wondered that a lot for a lot of different reasons. But I don't know. I don't know. It kind of messes me up sometimes thinking about and having these kind of realizations now that I'm older as to like why I felt the way I felt for so long as a kid, why I felt like I never belonged, or why I felt, again, I don't want to say unloved, but there were definitely some times that it was like a little like, oh, so you're gonna do all that for my brother, but then when it comes to me, you know, falls a little short. But at the same time, my dad's done a lot of things for me that showed he cared about me at least enough. You know, like for instance, I used to hate some of the things my dad would make for dinner. He used to make all kinds of food when we were kids because he was a chef and went to culinary school and stuff. And so he used to make all kinds of foods. And one of my brother's favorite foods when we were growing up was like chili cheese dogs. And I've always had stomach issues. So chili cheese dogs and my stomach are not really cool like that, you know? And so, because he knew that I wouldn't eat the dinner he made for him and my brother, he would go and make me pancakes just for me, just a single batch of pancakes just for me, because he knew I wouldn't eat anything else otherwise, and he knew that was my favorite. And so it's like, obviously he cared about me, you know, obviously he loves me at least enough, and I don't know what goes on in his mental. I'm sure he's got some issues that he's been dealing with for a long time that probably correlated into being a bit of a lazy parent, you know, the whole divorce and everything. And he's convinced my mom cheated on him. My mom will never admit to it, whether she did it or not, to me or anyone else. She swears the fact that she didn't. I don't really know who to believe because my mom also told me, kind of remembering things as I talk here, in that same conversation when she told me about my dad like leaving me in the little high chair or whatever, play chair, whatever it was called. He also was convinced that I was not his kid for I don't even know how long. I don't know if he still feels that way or not, but my mom told me that like he was pretty convinced that she cheated on him and had me with some other mystery man. And so like my dad might not even be my dad and I will never know. And honestly, I don't really care because my dad's great for who he is, you know? He might have been a little neglectful growing up. He might still be, but you know, he's my dad and he's awesome. And I love him. I'll always love him. And I forgot to look at the other number that I need. Wait. This way. I have to go this way? Wait. Okay. Anyway, I'll love him forever, even if he is a little neglectful. And it goes for both my parents. You know, my mom was neglectful because she worked so much. Like, all of my life, she's been just a pretty hard worker. Just always working, 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 working. And I don't blame her, you know? She's got 3 kids. She has to keep a roof over our heads. She's got to keep food in our stomachs, etc. So she wasn't involved very much. She wasn't around very much. Like I remember growing up, we spent a lot of time, like the weekends we would spend at our grandma's house because one parent had to work the day shift, one parent had to work the night shift, or both parents were working 2 jobs and stuff. Like there's always been complications. There's always been just stuff in the way that made it so they couldn't be as involved or active or whatever. And that's, I don't know, I sometimes I feel like I'm making excuses for them because it's like if they wanted to, they would have made more of an effort to be around or something, or at least in the times we did have, they just didn't like care very much. Like I remember one of my favorite childhood memories is me and my brother had this giant tub of Legos, and every like Saturday morning when we'd be back in my mom's house, she would be passed out in the bed for however long, sleeping in, whatever, which is fine, you know, our weekend deserves a day off, whatever. So me and my brother would just drag out this giant box of Legos and dump it all over the living room floor. and just sit there for hours. Just the two of us for hours playing with Legos. And that's fine. Again, it's not like we needed constant monitoring, you know? It's not like we needed a helicopter parent by any means. God, I would have hated having a helicopter mom. But at the same time, it's like nothing. It's like not even halfway of a helicopter mom. And that wasn't always the case. I feel like when we were younger, my mom was a lot more involved. She would sit on the couch and hang out with us. And I want to say there were a handful of times she would actually come and like play Legos with us or whatever. Like, but I got older, and that's when my mom really started to get like neglectful. When I turned like 16-ish, somewhere around that age, that's when she really started to care less and less. And again, I think it was due to circumstances more so than it was, I don't want to take care of you anymore. Like, she was working at a bar when I was in high school for majority of my high school years. Oh, well, that's unfortunate as hell. Um, she's working at a bar, which is a terrible place for my mom to be because she's an alcoholic. She's a high functioning alcoholic, but definitely still an alcoholic. I got in trouble by my hairdresser for calling my mom a borderline alcoholic because she's not like that bad, but then my hairdresser was like, there is no such thing as a borderline alcoholic. And I was like, okay, whatever. You don't know her. She's pretty high functioning. She just gets her drink on, you know? Anyway, neither here nor there. So my mom's an alcoholic, right? Fine. That's cool. Whatever. And so when she was working at a bar, it was really bad because she could just stay at work. She would get off work. She's already there with all her friends because they come to drink at the bar that she works at. And they all want to buy her a drink and hang out and, you know, blow some steam after your long shift or whatever. And then she would stay until like midnight or whatever time she would come home. And like, so I kind of would, from a young age, I kind of lived off either fast food or bar food because that's all I could get, you know? I couldn't go anywhere because nobody ever taught me how to drive because everybody was too busy. And so I just, you know, she would bring me home food at like 10 o'clock or whenever she would come home super late, super drunk. And this went on for many, many years, many years. I don't know when she quit. I think it was like my first year out of school is when she stopped working at the bar, I think. And like she knew it was bad for her too, because she would constantly come and apologize to me. And like it was bad. And I feel like I didn't help. I was kind of an enabler because I always was okay with her just not being around and her just staying at the bar and sleeping in late. Like I would always tell her like, no, I can get my own ride to school in the morning. Don't worry about it. You sleep in because you were out late and you probably have a terrible hangover. And like, oh no, I'm fine. I can live off bar food. And like, I didn't like enable her, but it's also not really my position as the son to make you take care of me. Like, you should just want to take care of me because I'm your child, you know? But I sound bitter. I sound mad. I'm really not. This was in the past. This is like, if anything, it's built up resentment, like built up anger. But we've talked about this. I've talked to her about this many times, and we've had many heart-to-hearts talking about this kind of stuff, and it's okay now, or at least as okay as it's gonna be, as okay as it's gonna get. And like I said, it's all in the past. It's not like she does this, and it's not like she is the same as she was. Granted, I don't live with her anymore, so it's not like it matters, even if she was going out getting drunk every night and stuff, and like staying at the bar all the time and stuff. I'm not around, so it doesn't affect me. But there's been so many times, so many times that my mom will come to me and, or used to, I should say, and she would be drunk, getting off work, and she would call me and she'd be like, "Are you sure you don't want me to come home? I don't want you to feel like I abandoned you or I'm abandoning you or whatever." And it never like clicked with me when it was going on that obviously, I mean, she was making an effort. She was trying, she was reaching out and like, "Are you sure it's okay for me to stay at the bar? Are you sure you don't want me to come home?" And it's a bit of a mix because on one hand, I'm a nice person. I want everyone around me to be happy no matter the sacrifice that I have to give or no matter the whatever it causes to me. If you're happy, good. And I always felt that way for my mom. I've always had extreme empathy for my mom because I know my mom's been through a lot of tough times and a lot of hardships and a lot of just bad cards being dealt in her game of life. And so anytime my mom would say, "Are you sure it's okay? Like, if it makes you happy, then go ahead, mom. If you are happier at the bar than you are at home with me, go right ahead and stay at the bar. I will be fine. It's okay." And I was young, so a lot of the time it was more than okay because I didn't really, want to be around. Like it's not like we were gonna do anything or hang out or anything. Like I'm a growing boy. I'm 16 or something. I don't want mom and son time or whatever. But I kind of just always itched at me in the back of my head. And as I got older, like nowadays, I'm like, damn, I kind of wish I would have had some of that mom and son time that I never wanted. Like, it feels different now because I'm an adult. I'm grown. Or more grown. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say she abandoned me because she constantly would ask me, like, "Is it okay?" Like I just said, she'd constantly ask me about it and make sure. But the other thing is I always knew it didn't matter what I said because that's how my mom's always been. Well, not really. She's such an interesting person. My mom has a huge heart. She loves everybody, just like me. It's where I get it from. It's where I get my empathy from. She is such a sweet lady, such a nice woman, just an amazing person for her flaws, despite her flaws, I should say. But I also know my mom is pretty hard-headed and pretty I don't want to say selfish, but selfish. So I kind of always knew that it really didn't matter to her what I would say. Whether I said, like, "No, it's not okay. I want you to come home. I want to see you. I want to hang out with my mom," whatever. She wouldn't have. She would have stayed at the bar anyways. She would have apologized and said, or she probably would have said, "Okay, I'll finish this one beer and then I'll be home." And then 4 hours later, she would come stumbling in the door and say, "Oh, my friend bought me a shot and so I couldn't say no," and excuse after excuse after excuse and apology after apology. And it's like after a point you just kind of give up. You kind of just know what's coming. You kind of just don't care anymore, you know? And so I just kind of let her do her thing. I let her be her own person, and as the rest of my life, I was left to my own devices to figure it out on my own, to raise myself in some capacities. And I feel like that really started when I was not going to school because I genuinely spent so many years just home alone, or maybe with my brother, but not very often. So like, I would say I learned how to cook and stuff, but I basically lived off of SpaghettiOs for a long time, and SpaghettiOs are not hard to cook. So, but I've kind of always had to take care of myself. And it's grown into this. I hate asking for help. I hate asking for anything for that matter. I don't like asking people for money. I don't like asking people for help. I don't like asking people to listen to me when I need to vent because I've always just had me. I've always had my own back and nobody else. And I guess I'm coming to the realization as to why I've always been this way, as to why I am this way now, is because of my youth, because of my childhood, because of my mom abandoning me or neglecting me or whatever, you know? It's it's kind of just depressing. It's really just depressing. It's really sad. But it is what it is, you know? Can't change the past. Can only hope for a better future, work towards a better future. But I think it also turns into my inability to want to go get help. You know, I come and preach about my mental health, my problems and whatever, but I will not go and get any sort of professional help for it. I refuse. I wouldn't say I refuse, but I kind of do refuse. I mean, again, I'm a man of excuses, so I will be quick to chalk it up to I don't have the money to go get therapy. I don't have the money for a psychiatrist appointment and medications and whatever. In reality, I'm scared. I'm scared of what else I might find out that I haven't already figured out on my own. I'm scared to, I guess, get the help that I might need or probably do need. I'm terrifies me because I've always had my own back. I've always held myself accountable. Well, not held myself accountable. That's not what I'm. I've always just had me to rely on. I don't want to have to rely on anyone or anything else to help me be a better me or whatever. I guess I'm just hard headed. I am very stubborn. And I think I can take on the world on my lonesome because I've always taken on the world on my lonesome, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you do need help. Sometimes you do need to ask somebody for help, and maybe I'm starting to come to that realization that I need help and that I don't know what I'm doing and it terrifies me. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I was just screwed from birth. Maybe I'm just unlucky, bad cards dealt in my hand. Maybe it's all in my head and things were not as bad as I'm making them sound. Or I don't know. I mean, I can only speak what I know, my perspective, my perception of my life. I can't, you know, I'd love to like come get my mom and have her tell you some of these stories herself and let you hear it straight from her of how I was raised and how I was, you know, treated, I guess, neglected, abandoned, whatever you want to call it. But I can only recount what I know, what I've heard, what I've learned, what I've lived and go from there. But it's been a blessing and a curse to learn all these things about myself, to learn all these things about my past or my childhood or whatever. A big, big blessing and a curse. Because on one hand, it's nice to, like I said before, it's nice to be able to say like, I am so and so way because of so and so in my childhood or whatever. But I mean, there's no what's the word? No proof of that, I guess. Like there's no I guess proof because I have no better word to think of. Like I don't know. I don't know. I'm just I'm just a bit of a broken individual. That probably was really annoying, taking a huge deep breath like that, so I'm really sorry for that. I'm gonna have to, I don't know, been trying to work on these kind of things. I'm just, I went too far. Oops. Stop here. Stop here. I am a broken individual doing the best I can to pick up all my pieces and put them back together in whatever way seems to fit the best. And I don't know. Maybe I need help. Maybe I need to go get help. Maybe taking on the world by myself is not the healthiest thing to do. But it's what I've been doing. So why stop now, I guess? Like, that's a terrible mindset, by the way. Don't get help if you need it. If you feel like you need it, get the help you need. It's probably worth it. I can't really tell you because I haven't gone and gotten any. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't wanna, like, fuck it. Fuck it. Whatever. Don't care. It's fine. Get the help that you feel like you need. Don't be like me. Don't try to take on the world on your own. It's not possible. It's gonna burn you. It's gonna bite you back. It's gonna mess you up. And I mean, you kind of just have to. Why am I so stupid? Actually, wait, no, I do want this, I think. Oh my. I don't know. I'm having a day today. Having quite a day today. Yeah, I do want to do that. Wait, this way. This direction. I'm not as stupid as I think I... Really? 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 Whatever. Having quite a day today. Lots of thoughts and feelings and water. Lots and lots of thoughts and feelings. Mostly about my past. Weird little air pocket. Okay, fuck with it. Works for me. Yeah, I don't know why I've been on this depressive episode, or why I've been why I've been in this depressive episode, I should say. I guess because I have all of these thoughts with nowhere to put them to some degree. I just keep pushing. Just keep going. Keep hoping for better days ahead. And trying my best to why? Okay, that was weird. Just honestly, flat, simple, plain as that. Just trying my best, honestly, every day. Just trying my best, you know? I feel like learning about my issues, so to speak, learning about my life has been somewhat helpful in this quest of understanding myself, but it's also kind of like messing me up every day. I learn new things and new trauma, I guess. It's like it's not new, but now there's a correlation behind it. There's a reason for it. Well, yeah, there's a correlation behind it. There's reasonings for why I am the way I am, and in some ways it helps, and in some ways it hurts because it's like, why did you let me become this way? Why didn't you try to help me before I reached this point where I feel so hopeless so often, and I feel uh, I don't want to say unable to get help, but sometimes that's how it feels. Sometimes I feel very incapable to get the help that I need or want or whatever. But, haha. Wait, what? I guess that works. I was aiming for that corner, but sure. Sure. At least we're in the pen. I don't know where you were going. I should have, man. It would look better on the other. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. I'm being stingy. So, I don't know. Something just died here. I hope it wasn't my axolotls. I see one trying to escape. Oh my god, oh, there's two. Wait, didn't I have like 4? That's okay. Well, yeah, it definitely was the axolotls then. It definitely was the axle. I don't know what he was doing all the way out here, but can't have anything in this house, man. Can't have anything in this world, man. The pandas died, the axolotls died, the dolphin died. Everything dies. Everything sucks. Life is meaningless. No, I'm just kidding. Life is wonderful. Life is beautiful. Get the help you need so you can appreciate the world for what it is. Don't be a bitter old man like me. I'm not even old. I'm definitely bitter. Get the help you need. Be a good person. Do the things you want. Live a life you believe in. Don't let your past trauma hold you back. That's the message. That's the one. That's the ticket. Don't let things of your past or your childhood trauma or whatever, your generational trauma, whatever you want to chalk it up to, whatever you want to call it, don't let it hold you back. Don't be like me. Simply plain and cut and dry, whatever. Don't be like me. Don't let your issues or whatever keep you stagnant or keep you from trying to be somebody or trying to chase your dreams or whatever, because I spent so many days in my little room all by myself because nobody was coming to see me, nobody was coming to feed me or whatever the hell. I just alone all the time, doing nothing, not chasing my dreams, that's for damn sure. I was just sitting around waiting for nothing. Sucked. And now I'm older and I'm like, damn, I wasted so much time sitting around doing nothing, being nobody, because I was sad that my mom was at the bar or something. Like, did I really just, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? You know, I am so stupid, bro. I'm so stupid, bro. I gotta climb all the way back up here just to see which side looks better and fill it in. And this side's a fence, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so I made a good call. Oh my god. Wait, there's not ladders on that side yet. God damn it, man. God damn it. I'm having a day today. I'm having quite a day today. Don't do that thing. Don't make the same mistake you just made, dude. Anyways, thanks for listening to my generational trauma rant or whatever this was. I don't know. I just need the vent today. Hopefully that's okay with you. Hopefully you enjoyed. Maybe you relate. Maybe I'm, like I said, maybe I'm just screwed from birth. Maybe I was just never meant to be anything more than what I am. Who knows? Who really knows? Looks like I have to redo all of this. So that's cool. That's fine. I'm all about aesthetics anyway, so I would have eventually destroyed all this and made it into cobblestone. Maybe I'll just do that while I think of more stuff to talk about and vent about, and probably go cry a little bit, actually, honestly. I was getting pretty emotional there, so I might just go cry for a little bit, maybe take a nap. I don't know. I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, whatever. I love you. Subscribe. Watch another video. I got a lot of them. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Bye.